So, namaste, everybody. We are yet again with another talk. And today's topic is how to adapt yourself with changing circumstances. I believe that I'm Dr. Anu Mehta, and I believe that life is never the same. In fact, if you are living a life which is very stagnant and nothing is happening in your life, then probably you're not living. Probably you're in your comfort zone doing things every day in a repeated manner, and you mastered the art of repeating stuff. In my experience, I've always said this: my life has never been boring, which means I've always been living and creating a lot of drama in my life. If Richard Fluke was here, he would have said this: I don't know how you do it, but you're all the time having drama in your life. Maybe the Bollywood really, puts a cast on me over there. So now, um, I picked up this topic because yesterday, when we were talking about being very stubborn and rigid, I said, what's opposite of being stubborn and rigid? Being stubborn and rigid has its own benefits, but being the opposite of it, that means you are ready to adapt and constantly keep changing with the changing environment, also has its benefits. And that's how I've lived my life, constantly and that's how this platform was born anyways. So for all the people who don't know, this was created as a challenge, which was supposed to be a 15-day challenge. Today we are completing 21 days, with some speakers being there for the all 21 days. And the whole idea was to bring life back, and we say we'll be committed. Yet even commitment of 21 days is difficult. Doing the same thing every day may be a challenge. And though we had completed 15 days, and I counted those 15 days at 12 days, and then when I completed 17, I realized, oh, we had completed 17 actually. And then it just felt that what we were doing here was we were just inviting the guest. Even Rashi was invited today morning and said, hey, can you hop in? And she says, what are you talking about? I said, just hop in and you'll know what I'm talking about. Life is jhat pat fatafat. Life doesn't come with a warning signal, doesn't come with a menu card that you can order from. So let's ask Rashi who she is, and let's ask her how does she feel, and does this whole topic really resonate with her. So Rashi, quick introduction of yourself, who you are, and I know I invited you, but I knew that this topic is something that I know you resonate with extremely from the bottom of your pit. So go ahead.
All right, because my entire life has been exactly this. So if I need to stop, tell me to stop. So
Yes,
you talk about my education, you
I
talk
want.
about my profession, you talk about my life. Everything is only constantly changing. So I'm a theater director and a solo performer and an actor. I'm also a healer and a clairvoyant. I'm also a teacher. So things just happen. So I was studying to be a scientist. And then I saw the play called Einstein. And I saw, oh my God, this is what comes alive. The science on stage with the young boys, Einstein, and the young older man, Einstein, and the genius Einstein talking to each other. I said, okay, this is what I want to do. So that is how my theater journey started. Before that, I was brilliant in science, in physics. So when I moved, so it's like city to city, country to country, and I did not know that tomorrow I will be doing this. Next month I will be this. Next year I will be that. And and for example, when I wrote my first first test paper in the US in the theater department, I was called by the jury. And they said, so what is this? It was one page with points, 5 points, and a graph about the character. And because I was a science student, I was so good in physics, I could see the entire play as a formula and equation. I wrote that. I had to throw all of my 18 years of learning of science, physics, chemistry, and then go into learning philosophy and human interaction and relationship and communication and emotions and literature. So it was, I have so many numerous examples. Here I was in New York City, buzzing through La Mamas and off of Broadway and critiquing, writing critique. And next moment, I'm in West Bengal. The first day I was in Calcutta, and I've been brought up in Mumbai and Delhi, and I went to this Queen school in Jaipur, Maharani Gayatri Devi school, and then I went to America, and then I come to Calcutta. So when I'm walking the street, that is Bandh. I didn't know what is a Bandh. It's like the whole city shut down. And I'm walking on the empty road, looking these old buildings which are probably not painted for 1,000 years. And I'm like, is this a film set? Like, is it real? Is it real? This place is real. Then I sit down in a local train to go to KGP. The rain starts, and people in the train open an umbrella, and they're sitting with an umbrella on inside a train. So it is, and I'm like, am I going mad? Is this surreal? Is it real? Is it a film shoot? Is it a play? And that is when, the first time it came to me, truth is stranger than fiction. And I have lived it all my life with these things. So you ask me and I'll tell, because I can go on and on and on. And like I told you in the morning, I have just moved to Hyderabad. 99% people don't know it. And I myself didn't know it before I was moving. So we could I came here for a holiday in the lockdown, and no, I'll tell you a little bit more. So I am a Banjara theatre group. We cannot be in one space. Now we are traveling. We are these skywalkers. We are these priestesses dancing. We are these crazy people, right? And then I went to Himalayas for during the COVID, and I climbed hills. I walked the forest trails, and I was the only one in the resort. Like, there was nobody, and it's a resort where Motilal Nehru and Jawaharlal Nehru had stayed, and there is a Mahadevi Verma's cottage. There is a writer's cottage, and here are the 10 men taking care of me. And I'm like, oh my god, beautiful sunset, hills, forest. What more does one want in a life? Anyway, I do very niche work in Mumbai. I don't need that rat race in which it doesn't even have anything to do with me. I'm just getting that energy which I don't need. So I realized, oh, I must live in a new place. Just like that. I came again for another holiday to Hyderabad, and I saw this house, and I said, oh wow, this is lovely. And I called my broker, and I said, I would like to cancel the lease. And he said, ma'am, you just renewed it 4 days ago. I said, yeah, but I think I have to leave Mumbai and live here. He said, what? I said, yeah. And that's how it was. I just flew back, packed my stuff, all the costumes, the trunks of papers and books, 20,000 books, props, set, every single thing. And I just came, and you can probably see on the wall, there are 3 posters which are framed and 3 which are empty, because I haven't yet opened the curtains. Because, we cannot never reach a point that everything is now perfect. And now I will live. So, in short, this is how my life is. I think I carry my tent in my hand, and I travel in different realms and different cities and different countries and different professions and different educations and all of that. So,
Thank you so much, Rashi. You have always been an inspiration for many, many people. And thank you for talking candid from your heart. I really loved every bit of what you said. We've always sat down right from the day one that we've met, whether it was the canteen of Life Positive magazine, where we both sat down and probably laughed for 2 hours because you said a nut meets a nut, and then they recognize each other and say, oh my god, like two people of the same kind. Oh my god, how did that happen? Oh my god. Okay, let me not get over dramatic. That's what I learned from my dog, by the way. Luna meets me like this. And I'm like decided this is how I'm going to meet people. So hi, Yogini. Could you please introduce yourself and is this topic so cute?
So I am not going to introduce today myself as to what I do. I was thinking of the topic and I started thinking what I want to be. So at this moment, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to stand on the stage in front of 10,000 people, talk, motivate them. I want to really make a difference in the world. And I always had this desire, but I was not ready to change. Okay, I always thought कि मुझ में है तो people will come to me and I will get the opportunity. And it struck to me because about 2 years back there were two youngies who came out and was studying psychology, and they asked me, how you're doing and what we should do and how we should practice, and I gave them all the tips. And in 2 years, those two little girls have been so popular. They've been doing so great in their careers. And it struck me, there's something that I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm stagnant. Maybe I'm not adapting to what needs to be changing. So today here I am trying to get my Instagram working, trying to get followers, trying to make my YouTube presence, trying to do Facebook and doing 1,000 of different things. And every day there's a new input and I'm like, oh my God. So I got this post today, oh, Instagram is promoting reels. So now we need to start making reels. And I was like, that's something new. But the point is people can adapt or try to change only if they wish to change. Human beings have always been adaptive. That's why our species always survive. But if we realize it was for survival, we change for survival. When that time comes when we know nothing else can work, like COVID came, everybody adapted to everything in the world because we had to survive this situation. But without survival, if we have to come to that point where we need to change something, first and foremost, make a goal that I want to change. I want to do this. We just talk, it's in the air. Hi, yaar, I want to be famous. But that's not how it's supposed to be. Make a change, write it in your diary, journal it down, write it on your goal board, right? Make a vision board, change. I am ready to change. And it's amazing. I mean, I have taught people this 1,000 times, but maybe didn't apply as much to myself. And today, when I applied, amazingly, I met you, Anu. Uh, Rashi and I have talked 3-4 years back, and we have been in contact. Not that we know, but we did not have a conversation. And today, that law of attraction somewhere is working. When I decided to change and adapt, all the ways, all the doors have suddenly opened up. The fear that I will not make it, the fear that I may not succeed, or fear I may just, have to exit this whole thing, kya hoga? Once I let go of that fear, I decided to adapt, change, and do what is needed for me to really grow. All the doors have magically opened. And I'm really grateful for all of you to somewhere, how what universe just connected us. I'm thankful for this platform too. So adaptation first, decide, journal, you can change. Everything can change. COVID changed us all drastically. So I think we can change anything else in life.
Thank you so much, Yogini. And let's go over to Sumita Mendirata. And I have to acknowledge Sumita and Rashmi for being very, very consistently there all the time for this forum. And this is your forum. And I must acknowledge Jo, despite all the changes that she is presently going through, she is very much there again on the forum. So the thing is, people come and go in your life. And we keep waiting that there will be some day that you'll acknowledge them. I don't want to wait that one day. I'm very grateful for all of you there in my life. You,
Thank you.
you make me smile. You make me want to live one day more. And you help me in creating new visions right there. I'm very, very grateful. Sumita, over to you.
Thank you so much, Anu. Thank you, everyone on the platform. And hi to everybody on Facebook. I'm Sumita Mendirata, and I'm a consultant clinical psychologist, counselor, practitioner to various modalities, and brain gym facilitator. So, what I was just thinking, Anu, when you were asking us to, talk about the today's topic. So this word adapt is what I've learned from you actually is to break. When I broke it, and I found that it has got this APT, apt. And apt is something which is always the best, the best possible way out for you. And add is to somewhere added on. So I feel that when we say we have to adapt or when we have to change, it's always for a purpose, it's always best for us. So whatever best is for us will definitely come to us. I mean, I agree that individual efforts are required, but somehow I believe in that also, that the path is being guided, and you automatically somewhere connect or reach to that point. So I feel whenever we say adapt to this thing, it's always like a add on to the best thing. So that's a simpler meaning which comes to my mind. And when we, because if we say adapt or change, it seems like big words, and we find it difficult or challenging. But when we say, oh, the best is going to come to us, and we are going to, it's something added on to our work, or to our personality, or to our profile, or to our house, or to our personality, I feel that that's we feel positive about. So that is how I connect to it. Thank you.
Beautiful. I'm just going to say something or do something that I've been feeling ever since the program started. I saw a beggar standing at the traffic light. I saw a beggar standing at the traffic light, and she was carrying a little baby. The baby was dirty, and so was she. She had this dirty bottle which she was putting into the baby's mouth. I couldn't even dream why she was doing that. She had a bowl in her hand, and her hands were like this. Ma de de, ma de. उसके पास भी change थी. Change in is also the coins, the pennies that you carry. She also had the change, and you also have a change. The choice is how you present yourself in that change. And that beggar lady taught me more than any book could have taught me on that day. Because before I could change her, I needed to find out what in her was making me uncomfortable and why I had never done anything about it. It's very easy to talk about the change, adaptability, when you are thrown in a place. Yes, it is about survival. But if you didn't survive, you were going to sink. What was going to happen to that baby? She might not survive another day with that dirty bottle. And then we, people who have enough at home, hold our children, sanitize everything, put things in their mouth in the right possible way, and still worry that we adapting to our new role, to our new programming, to our new story in the better way, in the worse way. There's a lot going on there. Dr. Rashmi Arora, over to you. Please introduce yourself and please talk about why this topic is close to your heart.
Right. Thank you, Anu, and very good evening, everybody, and everybody on the Facebook. I'm Dr. Rashmi Arora. I'm from Delhi, and I am a homeopathic doctor, and I'm a mental health trainer and a NLP practitioner. This topic is quite close to my heart because this had been my motto all life, except for a few months. Wherever, whatever the situation is, you adapt. But for me, adapt word comes from adapter, the adapter which we put in the to fit in everything. So adapter actually means to fit in. You fit in. You don't have a your plug is not fitting in that. I mean, it's not apt for the socket. You take an adapter, fit it in, and then use it. So by coming to this word adapter, we can fit in into any shoes. So coming back to why it is close to me, for me, I feel that when we can fit in or adapt to any shoes, we are actually in the childlike energy. So, like Kweku is there, the small child of or any other children, or when we were children, we would wear our parents' shoes, we would walk with them, we would tumble, but still pick it up and walk again. So, it is adaptation has that kind of energy. And as beautifully explained by Yogini, that we could adapt to the COVID situation, all of us. So, hadn't we had that inherent quality in us, we wouldn't have done that. And everybody and each and every being on this earth, be a plant, be a animal, be a bacteria, or be a virus, or be it us, we all have this energy. And so, and plus, so what has happened now? The COVID is adapting to the situation, what we have adapted to.
The COVID is adapting. That's a big statement to make. I'm going to request Jo to introduce herself and talk about a little bit about herself. Thank you. Thank you. Really acknowledge your presence. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you all again. You've been so inspiring for me over the last few weeks. My background is in meta health and metakinetics training, also an EFT practitioner and life coach, and I've been doing that for about the last 13 years. The last 3.5 years, I've had more of a break from it when I've been looking after my son, and that's been a big change in circumstance for me being a mother. So that's my last big change. And the most recent one has been moving to a different country, from England to Germany, and now within Germany moving to a different flat within the last few days, which is why I haven't been present on the calls. I've just been listening. But Anu today said you really bring your presence. And this is hopefully a really important conversation for me, because this is my big struggle right now today, and here it is as your topic. So thank you for encouraging me to join you.
Thank you. I believe that our vulnerabilities allow us to create a flow and adapt to things much better. If we hide that vulnerability, we probably would be stealing away a chance for someone out there to be vulnerable. And that's probably the first step to adaptation, is to accept that no matter where you are, no matter how educated you are, no matter what accolades, what presents, what prizes, whatever you've created, what you've written, all those qualifications that we say right at the beginning, sometimes are not good enough to hold us together. It reminds me of a Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's soldiers and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty together again. I'm very curious to know, Rashi, have you ever had a situation like that where no matter with all this adaptation that you're talking about, all the changes that you created, could it be possible that there was a time once that you just sat down there and broke down and said, I can't do it. I just can't do it. This is too much for me. I don't think I can hold myself back together. I don't think I can have anything to give the world. I think I'm dying. I think I'm dead. I think I'm gone. I'm finished. Thank you. You're muted.
Yeah. No, so when I talk about other changes, it's because I have come out on the other side. But every single time, this is what happens. You are crushed by everything that is happening because you're not planned it, you're not thought about it, you didn't know it could happen. At the same time, you would be like cringing and sitting like a little child, and as if like you're in like a bubble of darkness, and you have no idea how to penetrate through it. Also because maybe you did not even design it, you did not plan it, you did not think it, you did not even know about it. In my life things have happened like that, you know. But in that circle of darkness, in your most vulnerable self, your broken self, you're just a pool of tears, or you just like okay, where are my swords? They've all melted away. You know, and there's not a single soul who can even understand. I mean, in that moment, if you realize in life, if you called anybody, that person never picks up, because it's your God's blessing. You are alone, nobody's there to deal with it and come out of it, and nobody wants to support your, you know, breaking of the cocoon, because you need your muscles to come out, you know. So each and every time this has happened to me, and I feel that you know, when I was looking at the topic, that change in circumstance, the other word that came to me was consciousness. It's like, you know, adventure of consciousness that we are into. Like, okay, we are doing this role. Like, for example, I was a tomboy. I used to go to a barber under the tree, get my machine done on my hair. I had denim shoes, jeans and boots. That's how I was. And then I was in the US, sports shoes and t-shirt and shorts. And when I came to India, I became this actress. I had to grow my hair. The first time I had a sense of lock of hair touch my neck, I woke up and said, what's touching me at night? It was such a shock to become this actress. Like, for example, the people who know me will be shocked to see me like this today, because I've worn this after, I don't know, 1,000 years, because it's Saraswati Puja and I want to do something special. There is no temple. I don't know Telugu. I don't know what to do in a temple. I'm not a god, you know, puja type of person. I don't have anything. So I said, okay, I'll only dress up thinking that it is Saraswati Puja and something is happening. Maybe I'm in Bengal where I'm with everybody and dancing away, you know. So for me, everything has been like that. When I decided to do this happened. When I decided to do that, that happened. So I just realized, maybe, you know, the whole idea of holding on to the idea of who I am, what I want, what I should be, what I must project, what I must achieve, is really, really, really the only block in our growth. Because we are meant to like I studied a lot of physics. Nowadays I'm studying Vedas with a Russian scholar. And in yesterday's class in Kena Upanishad, the whole, I can't quote it, but the thing was that the one who knows he knows it not. And the one who realizes he knows it not, knows that there is so much to be known. So we are always in that thing that I know this is best for me. Like you said right in the beginning, that people who are like 8 o'clock breakfast, they discuss what they eat for lunch at 12, and then life goes on. And the comfort of that coffin, it's coffin only. The comfort never lets them fly. The and chart the skies. I'll just give one example because it's a recent example. The only example where I felt that, oh my God, this I've never been able to handle was about my studio that I opened in Mumbai, and then I vacated in one day. Like, morning I went and I removed it. And it was a huge matter of trust and all of that for me. And then I realized for 20 years, I've been working for people, for humans, for children and youth and corporate and mother and pregnant people and everybody, bringing this joy through my workshops, bringing meaning through my plays, penetrating people's lives, creating Banjaras every city I go in. And here I'm like completely, ripped off of everything I believed humanity was, trust was, joy was, friendship was. And then I realized this is the big, big kick for me to move and explore bigger horizons. It wasn't easy because what happens, our emotions and our heart also get involved. Now, how much of your mind is saying it's good, I'm adapting, I must change, but your heart is breaking inside. Your body is weak and vulnerable. You don't feel like eating. You don't think there is a morning, right? And we all go through that. But then if you brave, I think if we brave it, just cross the bridge, you come in a place like me, like I was saying in the morning, this big corporate guy, friend of mine, he said, oh, you moving to Hyderabad, like from Mumbai. Mumbai is your city. You moving to Hyderabad, you must have gotten a great offer. I said, yeah, I got a great offer. He's silent and I'm silent. And he says, yeah, it's a great offer. I said, yeah, it's a great offer. I just don't know it yet. And this is only last month. I don't know the offer yet. Yeah, at the same time, when I come here, I realize in choosing myself and my soul and my this blankness, this blank slate of what's going to happen, whatever be the circumstance, let me just enter it, has emerged into such a powerful and nourishing experience. I have the time to sit and look at a cup of tea. Oh my God, such a pretty flower. Oh my God, look at the breeze. It's nourishing me, this absolute change of everything that I was and everything I lived, except for my skin, which is cracking open in this heat, dry heat. I'm so used to West Bengal and US and Bombay with humidity. This change is very difficult for me to handle on a physical level, but on a psychological, emotional, physical, spiritual level, I love sitting by this hill which has a sunset, and there are goats going there, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this. This shepherd is here. Who knows if it's Jesus? Hi, Jesus. And I just so
That's
all the darkness that comes to us with this fear of change is equivalent and in proportion to the light we are carrying inside but have closed our eyes to, is what I can say.
beautiful. How beautiful. Let's go from here to Rashmi Arora, who's also been going through massive changes, massive adaptations. And I've been seeing her personally do that for a number of years. So I'd like to ask her, have you, in all this journey, have you ever felt nobody understood you, nobody's there for you, you had to be all alone, da 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 da, da and all that was going on? And just talk about it if you have any stories there.
I know I've been going through massive changes since the last 10 years, but uh, it's a decade now. And though I might have been going through many changes before that also, but these are more apparent to me.
Going through changes ever since I was born, and now I
But
look
these are,
I was.
yes, these are more apparent to me because they are more forceful. They are making me more vulnerable, and vulnerable for me comes from being wounded. But in all those years, I have come a long way ahead. And where I have not been understood is I felt not being understood for the last 2 3 months because I was going through an illness, and then recovering from that, I was trying to tell people, okay, this is happening with me. Okay, this is happening with me. But I really felt like shaking up people and tell them, wait, listen, listen to me. This is happening to me. You are not understanding it. So that is it. And vulnerable word is comes from the word wound. So when you are wounded, at that time only you will try to adapt. For example, if a thorn pricks somebody's feet, that is the time they will try to walk in adaptation. Nobody will walk in adaptation by wearing comfortable shoes. Only when the shoe is uncomfortable or something is uncomfortable beneath, we will adapt. And that is how we create. So, a lot of things going on, and that's it.
What's the latest, Rashmi, that's going on that you have to adjust? What's the latest hangama in your life?
My mom is not well. I just joined in late. I just joined in late.
She,
Day before yesterday morning, she fell early morning. I was woken up at 2 a.m. in the morning, and she fell down on the floor, and she was, I mean, she was just collapsing. So did what I could do, the maximum, and that she recovered. That's by God's grace, and she's still recovering. So wish me luck. Wish my mom luck. Best wishes. Thank you.
all of us need luck, and so does she. We'll be definitely sending her a lot of healing and luck. So brought that up for Rashmi because I know that she's been struggling with a lot of things happening at the same time. This is what happens when the change happens. It's not from one side. Everything seems to be moving, and you have no choice but to surrender, to let go, to smile there, and just say, okay, maybe I will be able to do it. And if you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like having a doubt, have it. What's the big deal? When you cried as a baby every time they were changing, even if you're not aware of it, what's the big deal? Why do we want to show people that we are these strong, absolutely empowered people who have never fucked around in our life? Sorry for that word. And never got fucked around in our life. Sorry for that word again. But it just is such a spiritual word because I don't have to explain myself to you after this. Okay, let's go to Sumita. What do you have to say about it?
So, Anu, a specific event or incident, what I feel is, like you said, we have been changing since we have been born, every year our age changes. So that is the first step of change, and we celebrate it. So I feel if we are celebrating our birthdays, in a very manner which we really enjoy and happiness. So why are we not able to celebrate that change which is coming to us? So it because age change is a change by default, you can't control it. You don't have anything in your hand, and you have to just accept that change, and really be happy. Wow, I'm growing up. Even a child is happy. Every child is eagerly waiting for that change to come and just have a blast. So I feel if uh, maybe I'm not able to do it till now, but maybe with few years of experience and information and awareness, if I'm able to create that space, and in my life and in other people's life, I think that is the way it should be. Ideal situation, what we talk about, that we look for that change, because we all know that if change doesn't happen, we all get stagnant. Maybe some changes come as a shock, maybe some changes come as a pleasant surprise, maybe some really come as a blast. We don't know what form it is coming, but it's a change. And I know it's very easy to talk, and I have been into situations when the situation was just put on me, and I also broke down. And like you said, it's okay, break down, cry, cry out for help, and you get support, and very good. If even if you don't get support, still you have to stand on your own and fight that battle on your own. But I believe that that's God's way of making us every time understand that, dear, this is either you cry it or you don't cry it. You have to undergo it like a birthday change. So that's it.
How beautifully put together. And the highlight is that we can celebrate, but we decide to get into fear because we want to control, and we want to know everything and control every bit of everyone else, ourselves, when it's a complete satya, it's a complete truth that nothing can be controlled. Everything is just in flow. The minute you start believing that you're controlling something, someone, including your breath, that's probably the only thing you can control at some point, that your breath, and yet that's also not something that you can control, because when you die, you don't control your breath, it's not in your hands. So why then are we so stuck up in this space that I am doing this? I mean, what I? Which I? Let's go over to Yogini and ask her, what does she think?
So it's amazing when I heard everyone's story, and people who have been listening know that I lost my mom, and that was the most difficult thing in my life. For me, it was like, as Anu said, I cannot live like this. This is not possible. I cannot survive. I will not do this. It took me 2 years, but I don't know. I didn't try anything, but I finally adapted. So that proves that some way we adapt without knowing. It's a very beautiful, if I think Sumita must have seen Frozen 2 movie. And in that, there's a very nice dialogue. It says, when you don't know what to do, when you are at the end and you see no light, just take the next step in the right direction and see what happens. So I have been faced with my mom's death, sudden death, not sudden, maybe I knew, but it was still mom. And then my dad suffered with a lung disease where we had to actually change his whole diet, and we had to adapt to new patterns of eating, health changes. It was drastic. But now when I look back, and I'm sure each one of you all, when you look back today, we are all telling stories because we adapted. So every adaptation becomes a story. So if people realize that change is what leads to stories, you make stories only when you change something. You cannot make a story with your everyday life. I woke up, I dropped my kids. That doesn't make a story for life. So life is a story. And every story comes from something either happy or sad. There are only two things that make story, something happy or sad. So I remember first time when I flunked in my exam. I was an engineer and the paper was so hard and it was crazy. I've never flunked in my exams. I was always a first grader and everything. For me, it was not a shock, but it was like for my people around me, it was a shock. And I was like, why are you all so shocked about it? I mean, it's okay. I'm human. I can flunk, I can fail an exam, and that's fine. It's my learning that I didn't study enough. So I think it's just that if people understand that, learn. If there's a problem, learn, adapt, change, you will make stories and you will grow. I am here today doing mind coaching, leaving my engineering degree and high earning job is because of all these adaptations and changes and survivals that I had to go through. And each one of us are telling the same stories today. So adapt, it's not that bad. It just makes new stories.
Wonderful. Joe, would you like to add anything here?
Not right now, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to say it like this. Milkha Singh became the best runner not because he wanted to become an athlete. He just wanted 12 eggs and a glass of milk. That was his hunger. That was his driving force. And he stumbled over such a big title. Accident. Mahatma Gandhi was thrown out on the platform. And he was called, you bloody Indian. You can't even afford this. Get off. And he had paid for that first class ticket. Because he was becoming an uncomfortable element for someone. Well, I'm so happy he was dropped on the platform, because if he was not, he wouldn't be Gandhi that we know. Nothing would be written about him. I would have never got into my work had my son not fallen very unwell when he was born. And I definitely would have never got into my work had I not been pushed against myself and moved from a country that I was very, very comfortable in back to my home country, which I was comfortable in, but I couldn't understand the country anymore. I'm sure Rashi wouldn't have become who she is if life had come without all these stories, because in that darkness, when she took the next step to just get out of the darkness at the end of the tunnel, And even when she lost her studio, it was a choice that she made at that time, to cry, to break down, or to adapt. Or whether it was Sumita who said, no matter what, I can have a child. Or whether it was Rashmi Arora, where she said, oh, now that my mom's unwell, I don't have a choice to be unwell. And whether it was Yogini who sat down there and said, my mom's not there anymore. I couldn't do anything about my mom and dad, but I can definitely touch the lives of so many. I'm giving you these stories today because these are the stories about adaptation, and adaptations were apt at that time because they created not just a change in you, but a change on a global level. And COVID did the same for us. They created the change in the way we connected. We did not bring about distancing, we just melted the distances that were existing, in fact, which is so interesting from where it began. So, my question to Rashi right now is, one thing that you're really proud of, one thing you can stand up and say to yourself, I'm so happy that the universe kicked me in my butt. You know, we call it the BPL, Bumpelat. The universe really kicked me hard on my back and there was nobody for me. And I'm really proud of myself. I could make things happen. What would that one thing be, Rashi?
Um, I think this, without even mentally knowing, but I think I'm extremely proud of the fact that somehow there is in me this sense of trust that if I'm going to fall, they will make me fly. That trust, because it has happened with me in such a huge and dramatic way. There was a time in my life, in my work, my house, my studio, my money, my income, everything that was important to me was just taken away. And I was on bed for 6 weeks with diarrhea, which doctor thought I had no pulse, like Abito, she's gone. There was no way to resurrect me. And that is the moment of choice. Like, okay, I'm going to live or I'm going to die. And if I'm going to live, it's sure that I cannot live on the things that I have done till now because all of that is taken away. And that moment, the fact that I decided to, trust that kuch to hoega hi, you know, there must be something which made me just take the next breath and made me get up and have that one sip of water and put my shoes and open the door of my house and walk out without knowing a thing about anything. So I'm extremely proud of this grace. It must be just grace because I don't know if we can, structure it. We can't architect our life. So I think just willingness, and also not being so egoistic about I'm this and I can't be that, and what if everybody thinks this about me, and what this that. I had nothing like that. I had no ego that way. And also I had no, because I did not have that ambition, I'll be this great actress. So if all of it went away from me, I'm just saying, I think just to be childlike and curious and full of wonder and full of madness, some mad trust, I think it just helps. It just helps to not ever let any shackles cage us, ever. Even if it's society, because when I moved from acting and directing to this healing and channeling, and that brings me to the point you said that people want to know what will happen in their life. They want to control everything. I'm telling you, as a channel, when I tell them what's going to happen in their life in next 3 days, next 3 months, 3 years in their job or profession, everything, I can channel everything and tell them. They're not even ready to do anything about that also. Even when they know, they still want to control it from the old mindset that is killing them. So I feel that every time I've transitioned, a new world has opened, because I was blank, I was vacant, I was empty, I was zero, and I was okay about it, and I was just accepting it.
Wow. Okay, so let's come to Sumita. Sumita, one thing that you're really, really proud of. One thing that you know that if God had not given you that one kick in your butt, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing, or maybe not even doing. It's not, why is it all about doing? You wouldn't be who you are. you're really proud that you took that one decision. You're really happy about even the challenge that stood before that. Thank you.
So I think I got that kick when I was in class ninth, and I was quite ill for almost a year, on bed, and knocking, my parents knocking from one door to other, just looking for some cure for my illness, which was one undiagnosed, which was not even nobody was understanding, and they were just so at one time I really felt helpless. At one time I don't know how many I would say, like, nights I would have cried just for this fact that, like, till eighth class, my father has worked in Bhilai steel plant, and we have a medical diary, each one of us, because we have that medical record book kind of a thing. So my record book was absolutely blank, and my mom used to be very proud of it. Like, she didn't have even any one thing of this thing, and suddenly it was all filled up. So I think that from there, and that was the time, like, when I was growing up as a teenager, I would see people, my friends enjoying, and going out for parties and having fun. And even at that time where academics becomes a very important role, and I was very intelligent, and I thought I'll do well in my boards and everything. So the way I given my boards and everything was not like what I had thought it would be. And that was like one big jolt on my personality. And I think from there I decided I need to know why I went through this. In a way, definitely it was his blessing, I would say, because, like I told earlier also, my mom would always say this phase would pass, but don't let come it like a personality on your, don't let your behavior be spoiled about it. Because I was really pampered in that phase, I would say. I got a lot of love and support, but maybe somewhere I was not ready to accept, and it changed into irritability, and somewhere I was just fighting in my own struggle that why this is happening to me, and I was not accepting that love and support. But now when I just look back and understand, had that love and support not been there, had that grace not been there, I would have not been. And somewhere that guided me. I was very fixated on studying psychology as a subject, which was very, out of the box in my family. And they were all like, why you want to do this? I said, no, I want to do this. And from there, I think the path automatically became guided too. And somewhere I wanted to work with children, because somewhere I thought that as a child, if you have any, difficulty or a challenge, maybe a lot of people don't understand. And actually, when I was, exposed to the word of learning disability, it was like a very difficult, when I saw people struggle, because it was not on the face, and I struggled the same thing because my wellness was not on the face. Any doctor who would see me was like, I was cheerful, I was happy, but I was in pain. And I could show that pain. So that is what I connected when I worked with children with learning disability. And I understood that they are going through a pain and nobody is understanding that. And if I could be of that support, so that is how I made it like my mission and my way of working. And I think from there all these things came in. So that's my story.
Well, to say that I don't show it on my face, but my body and soul still hurts. And whether it's an illness, whether it's something that's traumatic, that sizzles in you, it's the internal war that goes on in you. सिर्फ खुद को पता है कि क्या पता है, दूसरों को तो पता ही नहीं, क्योंकि अगर दूसरों को पता लग जाए तो पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा. हम तो खुद को भी पता नहीं करने देते ये चीज, है ना. The point is this unawareness that people have on the other side, or we believe that they have, that they will not understand. That's a whole topic of a debate, maybe some other day. Could it be a presumption that people won't understand, and so we want to be hiding our pain, go into hiding, stay in that hiding, stay in those dark places, stay over there? So over to Rashmi. Rashmi, what's your experience around what has happened in your life? What have you created that you're really, 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 really proud
I know it was not one thing, which was BPL. There were many BPLs. अब एक
of?
ले लो, then you take care of the other one, then the other one, then the other one, then the other one. And the list goes on. One thing which God gave me, and that's the best thing God has given me, is my perseverance. I think I'm using the right word. That's my perseverance. Okay, one thing, fine. Let's go on, move on to the next thing. Let's go on and move on to the next thing. Uh, I remember when I was this was my first job in 1998. I was working at a hospital, and I joined the homeopathic department over there. And I had the first challenge. I mean, before that, we were quite protected by our parents. That was the first challenge which I faced when I reached that department. So I was the most unwelcome person over there. And my boss, who was an American, I mean, did not. That was the first meeting, and the first meeting was, you Indians can get jobs with your father's contacts, but that was not so. I could tell her, but she didn't want to listen. I said, okay, fine, whatever. So I had a tough time. At that very day, I was made to. I traveled from Dehradun to Rishikesh. About no, not even Rishikesh. I mean, some place from there. It's called Doiwala, about 27 kilometers from my place. Then I was told, okay, today you are going to do an OPD in Dehradun. I said, fine. I went back 27 kilometers. Then after the OPD, you're going to come back. And then I came back. And then I went back again. Imagine the whole day from 9 to 4, I was traveling 27 here, 27 there, 27 here, and 27 there. In fact, that was my first day in my first job. So, but after that, I had many challenges. Uh, I gradually put on a very good rapport with the boss, but still there was something left. So the day I left from that place was, I was told that you have to travel one day to TD, one day to Pauri, one day to Haridwar, one day to Dehradun, and bring patients. I said, but when am I going to see them? She said, that's not your concern. 6 days you are going to travel. I said, okay. I said, namaste. I'm not going to do it anymore. So that was a challenge. And that time I was very fond of books. So that time I was told no homeopathic book from the department would be touched by you. You can only touch the medicines, what you have to give to the patients. And they were so beautiful books, so beautiful, so nice journals. Somebody would have loved to read and get benefited from them. If I would have been in that place, I would have gone and told people, please read this. These are gems. And I was told, no book you're going to read. Then I said, okay, fine. I went to the library. I opened the homeopathic counter and I started reading from there. The next morning, the latch was closed. You can't read any homeopathic book. I said, fine. Okay. What I used to do was, I started, when I was, because I was earning, I started buying books. I used to collect my money from my salary and create a library of my own. I still have it. So then what happened was, they said, when I was refused homeopathic books, I said, fine. I went and started taking out books because for us, the books for medicine, for pathology, surgery, they are common. So I started reading from those books. I would take out a book, read, and then put it back. I read dermatology in that time and other things. So that was an adaptation. I said, okay, fine, I'll buy these books, no problem. But I will read the other books, and that was what God gave me. I told you my perseverance, and I started reading them. I started reading Ayurveda at that time. I started reading acupressure at that time. So that gave me a benefit for so many years when I stopped working, when my children were very young. My I could sustain with that knowledge. I didn't work for 10 years. So I could sustain with that knowledge I had acquired at that time and continue. So that is how life has been quite kind to me.
Very good. I heard all of you saying something in common.
Mm.
It felt as if you didn't plan the change, and it felt as if there was grace standing behind you all. There was someone or something standing, holding you very tight, creating something for you. What would you say, Yogini? How did you experience?
Yeah, as I said, I mean, the biggest VLP was my mom's passing away so early when I was pregnant. There were too many things, but that has made me stronger. And I realized that when you hit the rock bottom, the only way is up. A person who is drowning,
You're muted.
yeah, one second, I'm back. Okay. So only person who's going drown, who's drowning, will touch the bottom of the pool, and the body is automatically going to push up. Only thing you need to do is move your hands and legs a little bit. You will go up. So it's on to you to just move your hands and legs. Everything else, destiny, world, angels, divine powers, they will push you up. But you have to move your hands and legs. You can't say कि भगवान कर लेगा, God will take care of it. I will do nothing. So if you take a bit of effort, if you put your 50%, God will, or the universe, or whatever you believe in, wherever your faith lies, will put the other 50%. You cannot drown if you put that effort, is what I believe. And I teach my kids also. Okay, don't cry over spilt milk. Think what next? Are you going to clean it or make a next glass? That's your choice.
Absolutely. So it's about taking choices. It's also about not making a how do you say? It's about you also making a choice of pushing and trying to come up. Like Rashi said, I wore those shoes and I walked out. Like Yogini said, I changed my shoes and walked into other shoes. Like Sumita said, I didn't let it show on my face. But I continued my march and quest to understand what my pain is about. Like Rashmi said, they could take homeopathy away from me, but they couldn't take education away from me. So, Joe, would you like to add anything here?
Only that I really love what Yogini just said, that, when you reach the bottom, then you'll start to move upwards. And I've seen that with so many clients. And yeah, now I'm experiencing that for myself. So it gives me hope. Thank you.
Wonderful. So, I'm going to conclude it here because I think our talk was so beautiful and so amazing. Like I told you, we didn't plan out any of these. The questions are not planned, I don't think, 2 minutes before. Because if I did think, I wouldn't create the platform. So, in my understanding, when you need to adapt or you need to change or you need to put your best foot forward for yourself or for the other person, for a minute, stop thinking, start doing, and just breathe. Just breathe. Like they say, even if you lose everything, as long as you have your passport, you have a few dollars in your hand, you'll be able to travel, my dear. So I would say travel light, carry yourself from one place to another, especially during the changes. Do not try to hold on to too many things. If God wanted you to do that, He would have made you carry your body back into the other place. You leave even your body behind, and which can be used by other people or disposed, or can be used further for, donation or burnt and gone back to the universe. The reality is travel light, don't carry too much. Carry just what you need, like your passport, a few dollars, and I think you'll be able to reach another place, and another place, and another place, and another place, and another place. But if you carry heavy thoughts with it, and you make yourself heavy with thoughts, deeds, or anything else, you'll be stuck in that place forever, ever, and ever. That's how I feel. Let's ask Rashi the concluding lines from everyone. So, Rashi, over to you. How would you conclude this session?
I think gift is a change is a gift. It is the gift that you have not planned, you have not asked for, you have not wanted, but your soul really needs it. And like I said right in the beginning, if change is not happening, we are living in a coffin. So it's a gift of life, it's a gift of fragrance, it's a gift of flower. And this is not just language because I'm an actress and I'm into literature or I'm into healing. I really mean it. When I walk on the grass below my house on the lawns, I feel so grateful that I can walk on this. When I see the sunset, when I see these offers that are pouring in from various places which I didn't even know about, organizations I had never heard of, projects that are so exciting that I didn't even know I could do anything about, and pan India. I'm like, oh really? This is what it is. Just when we are brave, the universe celebrates us. And bravery is our DNA because we became a form, we were born. That means we were brave enough to enter Earth, to be born. So we have the bravery, we have the courage, we have all it takes. We just need to accept this gift with a humble heart and a lot of trust. That's all I want.
Wow. Let's go to Yogini before she goes off the platform. So, Yogini, your concluding lines.
So I think I would conclude it is that life is ever flowing. You're flowing with life in the destination or direction that you want to go. There is a big roadblock, there's a big stone in between. Either you can keep waiting there and thinking, one day I will carve a hole through this and join my path, or you can take a diversion, learn something new, and rejoin the path. The choice is yours. Either keep waiting or keep flowing. Flowing is the best part. We always flow with life.
Absolutely. Brilliantly said. Let's go over to Rashmi. Let's have her last words.
Anu, I remember a couplet in Urdu, which my father always quotes. It is, I'll try to recite it in Urdu, but I'm not too good at it. तुंदिए मुखालिफ तुंदिए मुखालिफ से ना घबरा ए औकाब यह तो चलती है तुझे ऊंचा उड़ाने के लिए. I'll translate it. Tunde Mukhalif is opposite winds and Okab is the eagle. So this couplet is, don't get feared. Don't be fearful from the opposite winds. They rise, they flow to make you rise.
Wow. Wow.
That's
Brilliant.
that's meant for the eagle. So it is, O eagle, do not get feared from the opposite winds. They flow to make you rise.
Wow.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you so much. That was so powerful. Let's go over to Joe. Joe, the last words. Thank you.
Just want to say really thank you to everybody. I don't know if you realize how inspirational you are and how beautiful the stories and the wisdom is that everybody's sharing on this. It's really wonderful. So thank you, everybody.
You're very humble. Thank you so much. For tomorrow, I think the topic that came out right now, and somebody and everybody spoke about grace. So let's talk tomorrow at 4 o'clock about what was the most graceful thing that happened in your life. Or we could talk about, is there a higher power above us that we call grace, universe, God, Allah, Bhagwan? And let's see what happens. So that topic for tomorrow is, does God really exist? What is that higher power that we are talking about? What's that grace that we are talking about? Who is propelling this change and who is bringing this out? Who chooses that you're going to be doing this and someone else is going to be doing something else? Who decides? Who are we really, the puppets in the hand of the universe, or are we creating the universe? So thank you so much, each and every one of you. Thank you, Yogini, Joe, Rashmi, Sumita, and Rashi for being here. And I would really love you all to be here tomorrow if you can. And if you can't, just message me and I will know, hello, that's not possible. And that's perfectly all right. Yeah. But I
Thank you.
tomorrow for the 22nd day. And this month has been more about understanding and being. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Everyone. It was wonderful being here. Great.